Okay, if you're just joining us right now, bear with me for a couple minutes here. I'm just getting things a little dialed in before we start. I just want to make sure everything is working before we get going. So if you are just joining us now, uh, hi Terry, how you doing? I see your text there, your chat. I'm trying something new, so you guys know. I'm using I'm using a multi-streamer called Caster, and what I'm doing from that is trying to just make sure that I can put all of the chat into one single window, so that I can see everything as it's coming in. And for the most part, it's been working okay. It just takes a little bit of work. So I see that we have a few people. Oh, we got a few people there on Facebook. How you doing? Got a few people there in YouTube land. How are you? Just keep bearing with me. I'll be there in the next couple minutes here. We'll be able to get going on this and see if it's working. So everybody, do me a solid and type in something on the chat, whatever platform you're working on. If you're on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just give me a shout and see if it is working or not, because I kind of need to know. It'll just make the whole job a lot easier for me as I go through this. There you go. Hey Terry, how you doing? Okay, I can see that's there. It's not appearing at the other side there yet. Am I even pointing the right direction? I'm not looking in the right. No, actually, it's that way. So in any case, I've set up a chat window here. I'm hoping that's going to work. I tested it and it seemed to work yesterday when I was going through it. So hopefully everybody will be able to send in questions so that I can answer. Hey, how about that? Hey, hi there from England. Hiya from England. I'm not sure who wrote that yet. So there's one bug that they've got they need to fix. Paul, Mr. Paul Kenyon, how are you, sir? Good to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining us in. Shredhead59, how you doing? Tom Karen from wintry and cold Massachusetts. I feel your pain. So you know how it works. As you put in your chats, it'll take a minute or two before it shows up in that window there. I'll get this right eventually. But this seems to be working pretty good. Let me know what you think about that. This took a little bit of work, not to go too far in the weeds right off the bat, but it took a bit of an effort to, first of all, get the chat to sync up properly, but then also to create a little bit of a filter so that you don't have to see this ugly gray vertical bar like I had before. I'll just show you what it was before. It was just ugly as sin. There you go. That's what it looked like before. Then I put a little chroma key there to filter that out, and well, would you look at that? Next thing you know, it works great. So how about that? Okay, so I assume everything is groovy now at this point. Good. Okay, so let me take a sip of my Hulk smoothie here, and we'll get to it. So how's it going, guys? Hope you're having a great week. This is Scott from the Pedal Guy, all about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, and pedal sales. As always, I love pedals, and hopefully so do you. So this is my second live stream event here on Saturdays. I've decided to kind of do this as an ongoing thing because I think it would be really educational and helpful for you guys to see how things work as far as the pedal guy goes, and talk about what's going on and what's new and what's happening and all that. So I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy this session. Just to go over what I'm going to talk about today in this hour is I'm going to do a trio demonstration here because I've got a whole trio set up here with effects send and return, so we can cover that topic because I still get a lot of questions about that. The other thing I'm going to cover is, of course, the MG-30, and just set the right tone here. I have not opened the box yet. I have not updated the firmware yet. I haven't done anything with it yet. So we're just going to basically look at it I'm not really going to play anything through it yet because I don't think that's very fair to give you, to know that it's not updated yet and it's not working 100% yet. So let's just keep that in mind so that you don't get disappointed and all that. Yeah, Terry, I agree. Facebook looks like it's a little faster than YouTube. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. This is all a work in progress as we go through this. But in any case, we'll see what happens. I think last time it took like a couple of minutes before it showed up on the chat window, but we will get there. And if not, I will be kicking Castor right in the ass when I get a chance to talk to him. Anyway, let's talk about what happened this week. A lot of cool stuff happened this week. Hopefully yesterday you caught the new video I did on how to sound like Kiss with the NuX MG-30. It's the what I've called the Steal This Sound series, and there's going to be more of that coming in the next few weeks. I might be taking a small break from the MG-300 as I've done a lot of videos on it, and it's kind of time to give that a little bit of a rest. So I'm thinking like going back and redoing that in Headrush and then also in the Ampero as well, because those are a couple of other platforms that are very popular on my channel and people want to know more about that all the time. So why not give you what you need? In fact, I'll even tell you a really funny little thing. Earlier in this week, hopefully you caught this. If not, it's on my YouTube channel or it's on the Gear You Hear Facebook page. Did an interview with Charlie Benante from Anthrax, and that was like the thrill of thrills, because if my 40-something-year-old self could tell my 15-year-old that I was going to be interviewing Charlie Benante, I would probably have a really hard time believing that. But lo and behold, got to interview him this week with my friend Amico and had a really good interview with him. What a nice guy. I was really thrilled to have him on the show and talk about gear and all that fun stuff. Let me turn that bass down just a little bit on the microphone there. Somebody mentioned last week that it seemed a bit boomy, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, okay, so let's see. Yep, all right. So we're still pretty much where we were before as far as the chatting goes. So be sure to send something in so that I know that we're getting something. And there you go. Okay, so that happened this week, and that was really quite thrilling because, well, growing up a metalhead as a kid, who didn't like Anthrax? And of course, there were a couple of really cool things that I got to talk to him specifically about. One was what I considered to be a pretty important crossover event that Anthrax was on the pioneering edge of there, which was, of course, Bring the Noise, which was the rap/metal crossover song that they did with Public Enemy, and really brought the whole idea of rap to metal in a very legitimate way, because it was a pretty big hit back in its day, groundbreaking. And it wasn't obviously Anthrax's first foray into doing the metal rap thing, but this was more a bit legitimate because Public Enemy was a really well-established group. And well, hey, it had to be pretty cool. And he did talk about that to a certain degree. So if you get a chance, watch the interview. I think you'll find it really entertaining. And we even had a couple of people that were on, a couple of followers and viewers on there that were, well, how do I say less than ideal? They were trying to egg me on to say, hey, what did you think about the first Metallica record? And you wanted to get into this whole Dave kicked out Dave argument thing with Metallica. And it's like, well, we're not talking about Metallica. We're talking about Anthrax. But hey, tomatoes, right? Anyway, so that happened. The new video came out yesterday, which was the Kiss MG-300 series. I do need to hear from you guys about this, because I get a lot. I will talk about this for one quick second. I get a lot of eclectic asks on different tones that you'd like to hear me emulate with the NuX MG-300. And I assume, of course, the Ampero and the Headrush as we get a little further into the weeds there. But here's the kicker, kids. I need some more mainstream stuff. Look, as much as I'd love to do one for Mark Knopfler, I can think of about 5 people who will watch that video if I do it. So it's not that I don't want to do those themes. And what I might do is maybe wrap it up into like a decades theme. Like let's say a 70s, 80s decade, hair metal presets, funk presets, things like that, that would be more genre related rather than specifically on an artist. But I've covered some of the big ones, but I'd like to get some opinions on what other bands you'd like to see me try to emulate, at least through the MG-300. So just let me know, and we'll get to it. And I'm checking on the screens here because obviously something is not updating here on my window here, so I can't see if there's any more texts or emails, or I'm sorry, messages coming through. So I think we're having a little bit of a technical issue there with YouTube. So I'll have to go back and look at that and find out what happened. But so I'll be sporadically looking at that window as we're going through it. Right now, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at OBS. That's where I do all of my work from. All the videos that you see on the Pedal Guy YouTube channel or on the Facebook page, it's all done from here. So it's a much easier platform for me to work with. So anyway, couple other things that are going on. Steel Singer is a really popular pedal, and I'm down to my last very few. Okay, so Queen and Brian May setting. Okay, I can dig on that. That would be a pretty decent one to do. Somebody asked me to do Boston as well. Let me know. What do you think? But that one's a little more difficult. But in any case, so Steel Singers, I'm down to the last few of those. And I won't get any more until probably March, late March would be my guess. They just sold that fast, and I've only had a couple of people who haven't liked it very much. Everybody else pretty much has unanimously really voiced their appreciation for that pedal and really like it a lot. So that's good. What else? The Spark Distortion, almost out of those. And yep, Boston would be good, wouldn't it? So Spark Distortion, I'm almost out of those. And I'm almost out of a couple of the other pedals. You have to go up onto the site and look, but that's it's kind of an interesting situation because the more stuff, the Spark, I won't be getting any more of those. Those are, once they're gone, they're gone. Obviously, Steel Singer and some of the other mainstream products that I carry will have them here. I also did order a whole bunch of more of the Rockboard flat patch cables because those became quite popular on the site over the last 12 months. So. Okay, there's the boring stuff. Now, I want to ask you guys a quick question before I dig into this whole trio thing, and then we'll cover up we'll finish up with the MG-30. What do you guys want to see? Okay, that's not the question I want to ask. Here's the question I want to ask: how many of you actually open up the email blast from your dealer? Like, let's say you're a Sweetwater customer, or a Guitar Center customer, or an Amazon customer, or whatever. How many of those emails do you guys actually open up? Is it something that you think is viable? Because I've been thinking about doing a weekly newsletter, although it's kind of, I think, a moot point because I post nearly every day on Facebook and Instagram. I post weekly on YouTube, and I think, you can only do so much as a single person, but I kind of need to know from you guys, because I don't want to make the effort if I don't think, if I make the effort, I'm not sure if it's worth it or not. So I need to know from you guys. So let me know, do you actually open those mails? And if so, do you actually click on any of that stuff? Or is it just like not, does it not do anything? For you, and let me know, because that at least tells me if I'm on the right track or not. Okay, let's see here. Don ordered your MG-300 last September and got it last week. Well, WTF, buddy? How'd that happen? Geez, that's a shame. I really wish you got it sooner than that. Did you order it on the really slow boat or what? I mean, I've been shipping those things like left and right when I can get them. I've got a B stock actually in stock right now that I just grabbed from NuX yesterday, in fact. So, okay, Brian. So Brian's vote is it's email blasts are a waste of time. Thank you for letting me know. I do appreciate that. It actually does help me a lot to know if it works or if it doesn't work. Because if it doesn't work, then what's the point of doing it, right? And it's it's a complete use. It can turn into a total time suck. Anyway, okay, I have procrastinated enough. So let's take a look at what we're going to be covering today with the Trio, and then we'll get to the MG-30. And again, I'm just going to stress this point. I'm going to open the box up and just kind of show you what's going on there as far as what's in the box, and then I will follow it up with videos. I can't tell you specifically everything yet that's coming, but I can tell you that the MG-30 is one of several liked products that will be happening this year, probably within this quarter or the next quarter. So trust me when I tell you, it's going to be a very busy 2021 as far as new video content goes here at The Pedal Guy. So I hope you will subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Just stay tuned because we have so much stuff planned. I have so much stuff planned. Honestly, there are not enough hours in the day sometimes. Okay, so here we are looking at my setup for this week. Obviously, it looks a bit more complicated than we had last week. And I'm using, by the way, as far as the pedal board goes, I'm using one of the Outlaw Effects Nomads. So everything you're seeing here is actually operating off of a battery because I wanted to give that a shot and see how that worked. So the cool thing about the Nomad pedal board is that it's battery operated. So you can charge the battery and go off the grid for literally hours before you have to worry about recharging it again. So it's great because not only does it give you portability, but it also gives you the ability to avoid any noise problems too, which is really nice, I think. Now, let's talk about what today's topic is all about. Today's topic that I'm going to cover is using effects with the Trio Plus. I have gotten so many questions on this, and I in fact did a video on this, and I still get follow-up questions on it. And in fact, there's another, I definitely have to plan another session with this to talk about how to use this with the more complicated processors out there, like the Helix, like the Headrush. I get questions about that all the time. And I got a very detailed question about that, about the Helix earlier this week. And I'm very sorry I didn't answer your question. If you're watching this video, if you're watching this live stream today, I'm sorry I didn't get around to answering your question. But as I've said, there's only so many hours in the day. Let's see what's going on. Hey, how you going there? How's it going there? Let's see, who else is there? Don, sorry. I think he came direct from Australia to South London and was affected by the pandemic. Good Lord. Okay, well, Don, for next, just so you know, and I'll just go off the reservation here for one quick second. You can order those products from the US via eBay, the global shipping program. And you could have it in a matter of a few weeks. I'm shipping stuff to Canada, and I ship stuff to Australia, and I ship occasionally to Europe, and occasionally to Central and South America as well. So the global shipping program is fantastic for that. So just keep that in mind. That's always a possibility, and then you don't have to worry about pandemic. You don't have to worry about pandemic time crunches and things like that. Okay, so I've said enough about that. Let's get back to the matter at hand here. So we're going to talk about working with the Trio Plus and the Effects Send and Return. Now, the thing about working with the Effects Send and Return, there's what is the purpose of this? Let's talk about that first, okay? The purpose of this is to avoid any complications when you are teaching a part to the Trio Plus. And what I mean by this is if you use a delay, if you use a tremolo, if you use any of those effects, okay, and you try to teach a part while those effects are activated, I can guarantee you that it will not work, because what's going to happen is those reflections from the effects that I've already mentioned will create ghost notes, ghost beats, and it will probably not create a really clean part for you. So the idea here is to use the effects send and return up here in the upper left and right respectively corners of the Trio Plus. And MG-30 all parameters, I have no idea what that is, but I'll take a look in a minute. But the idea here is, so when you use the effects, when you use any of these effects with that loop, what happens is two things. One, it will record onto the looper. So you still will be able to record your parts onto the looper. Okay, but secondarily, it will enable you to simply plug a guitar straight into the guitar input here, and that will be your clean tone going into the band creation part of the Trio Plus. So what it does is it creates a clear separation of church and state. So you've got the band part, and then you've got the loop part over here. And the effects can all be a part of that. Now, what I've done here to make it even more complicated, because I know you guys just want to know how complicated this can get, I have actually put the two overdrive pedals here into the Trio guitar port. Why? Because very unlikely anything I play from the guitar is going to confuse, if with overdrive and distortion, will probably not affect the band creation part. So I'm willing to take that chance and see if that happens. But nevertheless, it's a very interesting thing to note when you're working with it. So in any case, let me see if I can do a quick demo here and show you what I'm talking about. So let me move the mic over here real quick, and let me get my trusty Yamaha here. Boy, sometimes we're in tight quarters. Let's see. All right, you can hear a little signal going on there. Okay. Okay, so we have the Galapagos is on. So just to give you a quick rundown of what's on the screen here. Hang on one second, guys. There we go. Okay, good. What's going on here? So we have the Galapagos, which is a tremolo. We have the time core, which is a delay. And we also have a steel singer and the iceberg overdrive. Just can't seem to put that one down. Okay, so we're pretty much in tune there. Let's see here. So I've got an empty song created, and let's say I just want to create a really quick part. So I've got ideally what you'd want to do is go straight from the guitar right to the guitar input, and then the separate loop will handle the effects. Okay, so let me know if that doesn't make sense, but hopefully it does make sense. When you want to use something like a helix or like a head rush, it gets a little more complicated. And so there's probably going to have to be a separate session to talk about that specifically. But just to let you know, that's kind of a different matter. So when you want to create a part, you just simply tap the band until you get a rapidly blinking a red LED. And basically what that means is it's going to wait until you start playing a part. So I'm just going to play an open A and just put a rhythm together. Okay, so in this case here, the reason it's doing that is, let's see here. Let me turn that down real quick. The reason it's playing that little note rising lick with the bass is mainly because I pressed down on the bridge as I was reaching over. So that was a little ill conceived there. So if we want to start again, we can just hold down, double tap to stop, hold down again to erase and reset to 0, and then we can try it again. So let's see if I can do this without screwing it up too much. Okay, so it created a different rhythm there. And again, there's one more problem here that we're going through here. So bear with me. This is all like really, hopefully this is helping you guys out a little bit here. So what you probably want to do for a rhythm like that is select a different genre. And that'll probably give you something a little more close to what we wanted here. So let's try it again. Okay, so it detected a slow rhythm, but I want it to actually go faster. That's pretty close to what I did. If I want to take the swing out. Okay, so that gives me kind of an idea of what we can do here. Let me switch back over to OBS here. Kind of looking in the wrong direction there. Yeah, so the guitar is definitely a little out of tune, but you know, who's gonna tell? It's free information, kids. All right, so I've got a part created. Now, if I had the delay and the Galapagos on, and it was going into the guitar input, there would be ghost notes created, and there's no way that we'd even come close to that rhythm. So now looking at, say, if we wanted to redo that, but let me just say this. If we wanted to redo that, like, let me go ahead and erase it. And let's say I wanted to use the iceberg. Wanted to use the iceberg. It's not going to really create any problems. Let's make sure we actually get a little too much there. Now, technically, this is probably not the way you'd want to use an overdrive because we're not going into an amp of any kind, so you're pretty much hearing it just direct. But if you want to, say, record, or if you want to just use this and try to keep it, try to still teach a part to the Trio Plus, you can do that because, look, a distortion and overdrive is probably not going to get in the way of creating ghost notes or anything like that at all. A fuzz might do that, though. So just do keep that in mind. So anyway, we can just try it again. So... Okay, that's close enough for me. But here's the thing that's really cool about this. So now if I wanted to record that in, if I wanted to say, you know, record a loop, I can turn the effects on now. And what I'll do here is go to there we go. I'm looking at it from a different angle here, so it's a little funky for me, so forgive me. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, 14. Great. Cool. Clearly, the YouTube chat is not working is not working here on Caster. I'm going to have to talk to him about that. Okay, so if I wanted to now record a loop, I can do that by using the I can put effects on the looper. So I could turn on, say, the tremolo. I forgot how cool that Galapagos is. So if I just wanted to record something, we could do that, you know. And now it'll play back. And there you go. Of course, that's absolutely, completely 100% out of time, but you get the point here. The point is that I've created a part that's pretty clean as far as the bass and drums goes. I've taught it a part that's pretty clean, and then I've been able to use the effects loop to then record effects onto the looper itself. So if you wanted to try this the other way, let me see if I can finagle this together really quick while we're all here online. Let me get rid of the guitar here for a second. But while I'm doing this, let me know if this makes sense to you guys, because that's really what I need to know. Is this making sense, or am I just speaking Greek? Let me know. So let's see here. Let's turn off the effects real quick. And now what we'll do is, let's say we wanted to go from the guitar here. Let's take the guitar. Okay, this is gonna get a little dirty here. But let's say we went from the guitar. Let's just do this. Let's just, for the sake of simplicity, let's just do a little unplugging here for a quick second. And so I can demonstrate clearly why you want to use the effects loop. Okay, so let's say that we went from the overdrive here to the delay, and then went from the delay to the guitar input. And let's go ahead and kill everything that's on this part. And now what we can do is come back to the guitar here. There. I promise there's a point to all of this. Okay, let's come back to the guitar. Ay, ay, ay. All right, here we go. Okay. Don't appear. Oh, maybe it's because I've got that plugged in there. There we go. Okay, so let's do this. Let's change the time, the mix, the amount of repeats. And I'm just going to do a single note just to show you what happens here. And watch what happens to the part creation when it works, okay? So it's going to listen, and I'll just play. Oh, hang on. Let's try that again. Let's be fair, okay? So it's going to listen, and surprisingly, not bad. Okay, try it again. Now I'll actually stick to what I said. So I'll play one note. So that actually came out okay, which is kind of surprising. So maybe that backfired a little bit on what I'm trying to stress here. But we could try something different. Let's see. Okay, so there's a good point right there. Didn't even come close to what I would want as a rhythm. And there it created a ghost note as well, because that's not what I played in the least. So that's the whole point, is to use the effects loop, and that way you can avoid any problem. You can avoid any problems with teaching it parts as you're trying to work with it. So what I've done essentially is just kind of demonstrate it, just to wrap it up here really quick, and then I'll get to the MG-30. Is that I have essentially covered why you should use the effects loop. So the way you'd want to do this, so I can even just reset it up really quick so that you guys get a good idea of how that's done, so it's not a surprise. So one more second here, and then we'll get to the MG-30. So I know there's people that are waiting for that specifically. All right. So let's change cameras, go down. Here we are. You know, I noticed nobody does this, by the way, and when they do live streams, they don't use 2 cameras. They use like 1. And I'm like, my Lord, that can, it's not bad, but, you know, give people a little bit more to watch. Okay, so ideally, here's how you'd want to do this. Okay, so I'm not even going to have the guitar plugged in. I'm going to go straight from the Iceberg to the Steel Singer, and then I'm going to go from there to, I'm going to have to get another cable here. So hopefully I've got one that's long enough to do the job here. I think this will do it. Yeah, I'll make it work. Okay. That would be, yeah, that's an 18. So I can actually move the foot switch out of the way here a little bit. So I guess while I'm doing this, if anybody knows any good jokes, now would be a good time. Okay, we're going to go here and plug into the Galapagos. And then from there, we're going to go from the Galapagos output to the delay input. And then from the delay input, we're going to go to the effects return. Not the effects send, the effects return. Because the effects send is over on this side. And from there, this is going to get a little messy. From there, we're going to take it over to the Iceberg over here on the far right. So now I've effectively created a full effects loop. Now, as far as the next question, which I know you're begging to ask here, if you're a Trio user, where do I plug the guitar in? Okay, that's pretty simple. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so we would plug the guitar right into the guitar input on the Trio Plus. Okay, and then we would let's bring the cable back over here to the guitar. And we've created a complete circuit in doing this. So a clean guitar is being fed to the guitar input on the Trio Plus. And then I'm going from the effects send to the Iceberg, to the Steel Singer, from there to the Galapagos, to the Time Core, and then into the return. So now I have a clean, complete circuit. So I can teach parts cleanly to the Trio Plus, and I can also, turn on the effects. So even the way I set this up now, if I start playing with like the effects, like let's say I turn on, I don't even know why I turn on the Steel Singer and the other one at the same time, but the Iceberg and the Time Core. If I wanted to teach a part while I still wanted to have that effect on, I can do that and it'll be clean because the Trio band part is going to listen to the guitar input. It's not listening to what's going on in the effects loop. This makes a clean separation. But by that same token, if I am using any of the effects and I want to record it into a loop, this circuit works for that as well. That's exactly how it works. So let me know if that makes sense or if that's not making sense. Terry, there you go. Raider, thank you very much. It is a very capable product. You just need just take some patience. So hopefully this is all, making sense to you guys. Please do let me know if I'm, not making any sense here, but now I can have all the effects I want. So let's say I wanted the Galapagos. And if I wanted to record a part or, record a part. Look, it's as clean as a whistle now. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. So, and it did, and the effects didn't get in the way of that at all. So now if I wanted to record something over that in a loop. And that's all there is to it, really. Using the effects loop is extremely, well, for lack of a better word, effective when you're using the effects loop, because it just creates that clean separation between creating band parts and creating loops inside of the Trio Plus. That's what makes this really a very, very powerful product to play with. So I think hopefully this has made some sense, and you're probably wondering, okay, well, how do I use it with my head rush? Or how do I use it with my MG-300? Or how do I use it with my Helix? Don't worry, I'm going to cover that. Just to let you know, I will be eventually bringing in the Helixes. I know that it's one of the popular ones out there, but every dealer from here to Timbuktu has those things in stock. So it's really hard to make an honest living at that, but working on it. So I will be bringing those in. And let's see if there's any other questions that are going on here. P-Base, okay, good. Glad you got something out of that. Hopefully that made sense, and you'll be trioing before too long. Clearly, I need to talk to Caster here about this problem with the chat window. So we'll figure that out. But how are my guys on Facebook doing? How's everybody doing over there? Okay, a few people there. Most of our action, when I do these are on YouTube anyway, so maybe we'll just go to YouTube exclusively. Who knows? Haven't figured it out yet, but multi-streaming seems like a real wave of the future sort of thing that we should be doing. Okay, now I know you guys have been waiting for this, so let's go ahead and switch gears here. So let me kill off the Nomad here real quick. So just to show you what's going on, as I said before, this is all battery driven, so I can just turn it off just with a switch on the back. And we've been playing on battery the whole time, so it's been like completely noiseless, which has been fantastic, I must say. So let's take off the guitar here, and we'll ditch the board here in just a second. Anybody got any good Valentine's Day plans for tomorrow? I'm baking all day today is what I'm doing. It's after I'm done with this session. I've already shipped all of my orders today. If you did order, thank you very much. Just know if you did order today up to noon, it shipped. So everything is on its way. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect all of that stuff. Let's see what else we're missing here. Okay, I think. Yep. Anybody else feel like a plate of spaghetti right now? Let's see, what else am I missing there? Ah, yes, okay, this dressing up. By the way, I do have to say that, I do truly wish that we could carry these. This is a great sounding overdrive, I gotta tell you. DFX has made something really special here. And I don't normally say that about an overdrive because overdrives are kind of like a dime a dozen, but this has a very unique sound to it. But there is one gripe I do have, which is why the hell did they put the power plug down there? It's just so in the way of everything, especially when you're trying to put an entire board together. I mean, not that I want to be one of those guys that complains about everything, but it is kind of a pain nevertheless. So let me throw off the headphones here real quick. And we'll put it over here. Okay. All right, here we are. Let's see what's going on there on YouTube. Any other questions? Oh, okay, we got MG-30 people. Yeah, okay. CJ Jax, I'm getting baked all day too. Oh wait, never mind. Well, whatever whatever floats your boat, my friend. We have a dispensary actually here in Redondo that's just right up the street here, and it's a church. So I affectionately like to call it our mother of the perpetual high, just for fun. So let's see. Okay. Whoop. Okay. So look, since the chat window is clearly not working, let me just kill that off here, so we don't have to see this. Where are you? There you are. Okay, there we go. Good. All right, so that's turned off. Okay, so here we are. The MG-30. Just got this yesterday. It literally just came in yesterday. And again, as I said before, I'm going to just strike the right tone here. And I want to just simply I just want to simply show you guys, you know, what's in the box and all that. I haven't updated the firmware. It requires a firmware update before you start working with it. That's how new this is, because it hasn't officially shipped yet. I saw a question about that a few minutes ago. Where is it? He's getting his bong. Raider, you're too funny, my friend. You're too funny. I did take a tech support call once back in my Steinberg days where a guy accidentally spilled the bong water while he was working, while he was calling in for technical support. So he spilled it on his mixing board. I felt so bad for him. But anyway, okay, let's switch back to my OBS so I can see what's going on here. Okay, so I've got the NuX MG-30 here. Now let's talk about when it's shipping. It is shipping, allegedly, it is shipping in March, and it will arrive in the United States in April. Those dates can always change, but I work very closely with the guys at NuX, so I've got a pretty good idea that I'm right in saying April would be the date to count on. And the price on this is going to be $299. So for $299, this is what you're going to get. So this is definitely one of the most cost-effective solutions out there on the market. Because the Ampero, I sell those for $399, and obviously the Headrush is a whole lot more expensive than that. And if there is the new Ampero Stomp coming, and I saw a couple of posts about that online on the Facebook page. But here's the thing, guys. Just keep in mind, I don't even know when the hell that's going to show up. Somebody said it's going to be here in 6 weeks, and I haven't heard anything from Hot Tone, and I have a really great relationship with them too. The supplier is literally down the street here. I can be there in 20 minutes. So I'm just saying, if I don't know, then nobody knows. But anyway, okay, enough of that. Let's talk about what's inside of here. So this is, think of this as like the MG-300 on steroids. Metal chassis, and it's you know, metal chassis instead of a plastic chassis. So we get a nice manual here. Goes through everything. And let's take a look at what else is in here, just so we have the whole kit and caboodle. So, you know, when something comes from China, when something's been made in China, it has to go through, if it's electronics, it has to go through what's called FCC compliance, Federal Communications Commission. We all know what the FCC is here in the United States. It's our organization after all. But the thing is that anything that's coming from China that emits electrical signals, noises, radio frequency, things like that, it needs to go under FCC compliance and approval before it can be released. So I can tell you for a fact, this has not been approved yet. This unit hasn't actually been approved yet. So are we breaking the law? I'm not sure. If you know somebody from the FCC, don't tell them. Okay, so let's see what's here in the box. So we've got a couple of patch cables here. We've got this tip ring sleeve cable, probably for use with the included NMP2. That is really cool. That means that the foot switch, the dual foot switch that you get with the Loop Core Deluxe, that comes in the box for $299. I'm really blown away. I'm going to be really shocked to hear what this sounds like and interested. Let's see, we got a USB-C cable too. So that's good. And we've got the power supply. So let's do this. Let's move this box out of the way. Let's put the power supply over here. And the NMP2 and the other cable. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the MG-30. Okay. So there we are. Can everybody see it? All right. I love looking back at some of the comments as they come in here. It's fantastic. Okay. All right. Bear with me, kids. Here we go. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the overall layout here of the unit. Now, again, I haven't used it yet, so please don't ask if it, a bunch of questions yet, because I don't know and I don't want to answer without actually knowing it. But I want to speak to the build quality here briefly. Now, by comparison, why don't we do this? Let's bring my trusty MG-300 and let's put it right here, right below it. Okay, so the MG-300, my dusty MG-300, I might add. It's plastic, and it's very light, and it has a very simple input and output, an auxiliary input, and it's a USB, a micro USB. Yeah, that would be mini USB, or micro USB. I forget which of the two. And then of course the power supply. But it is a plastic piece, and it is rather durable for being plastic. So I don't fault it for that. There is obviously some metal here, and you guys know how I feel about the MG-300. For 150 bucks, honestly, you'd have a really hard time going wrong with this because it really does sound good. And for all the features you get, especially the reamping alone is worth the price of admission. So I love it, and I'm still going to continue to do content about it. But now let's talk about the MG-300. Look at this thing, okay? I mean, that's a solid metal chassis. Let me hold it up there to the camera a little closer there. So it's nice brushed metal, little handle there. Got a series of encoder knobs here, which I'm not sure what they do yet. But the master and this is the global, but this is a push, that's a push button. That's a push button encoder wheel. And then here's the signal blocks. So you get direct access to the signal blocks. I think that's really cool, having all of that right there for you. In addition to that, you've got a looper built in, obviously, as I would come to expect with anything that's coming from NuX. You've got a tuner. You've got a double press for the control. And then you got the wah/volume pedal over here on the side. And I have to say that's pretty nice, actually. It feels really solid. This is very much akin to the Ampero, and it's $100 less. Whew. Boy, if I was Hot Tone, I'd be a little worried about this right now. Not that there's anything wrong with the Ampero at all. Guys know I love the Ampero as well. It's a great piece. And I still sell them on a pretty regular basis, but Papa's got a brand new bag here. You know what I mean? But it feels really nice. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it doesn't have a touch screen. So that's one thing that could be a little different. As far as the feel, though, I mean, it's pretty solid. Let's take a look at the back, though. Let's take a look at what's going on back here so you guys can see it. So I'll start here at the far left. So we've got our input, auxiliary input, headphone jack. That's really nice. So it's got an actual headphone jack out, which is good. You have a send and return. That's pretty helpful. Definitely something that we'll be exploring quite a bit of. You've got your output here for left or mono and right, and then you've got your expression. Expansion input here as well, and a USB-C port and an actual power switch. Ugh. You know, it's about the simple things, right, guys? Because not every product comes with a power switch on it, because it's going to add that much more to the BOM cost, and then it drives up the price. And man, does that suck. But it's manufacturing. What are you going to do? Let me speak to the foot switches here really quick. These feel different. They feel really professional. I like this quite a bit. I must say I do like the way these feel, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. Let me switch back over to YouTube here really quick and see what's going on. $130 now. It's $299. So if you're seeing it from 130 bucks somewhere, I don't know what to tell you there. I have had people say that they could buy the MG-300 from a factory next to where Cherub or NuX is in China, and get it for like 100 bucks or something. And they would make a big stink about that on my YouTube channel. And it was like, well, really, guy? Really? You want to make a stink about that? Because, I mean, that's like just a big old middle finger to people like me that support this product in a dealership. So I kind of just had it with him and threw him off the channel. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I don't like the. Ooh, those are encoders right there. I like that. Those are push encoders. Dig on that. Oh, the MG-300 for 130. I do have an MG-300 for a B stock one for 125 right now, but they normally sell for 150 bucks. If anybody has them and they're selling brand new and they're selling them for 130, they're dumb. They shouldn't be doing that. Well, if you paid if you paid 129 brand new on Amazon, congratulations, you got a great deal there. But again, knowing what I know about selling on Amazon, and if you watched my live stream from last week, I went into ad nauseum about why I don't sell on Amazon. I'm a dealer that actually likes to make a living doing what I do, and having my customers support me doing that. So just I get it, but it just creates an unfair playing environment for the rest of us that support these brands. So let's take a look at this really quick, because I got a question about MIDI here. I don't honestly know if it does MIDI, CJ. I'm not sure. So I'm going to be looking through this to see what's going on. I do like how the effect pedal is upside down. Maybe the mod core there is in distress. I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. If there's anything about MIDI. I haven't seen anything yet about it. Raider, I'm glad you get me, man. Do you get me? I get you. Pardon me, that's my doggy. Boom. I don't see anything right off the bat here about MIDI with the USB port. However, that's not to say that it's not here or anything like that yet. I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But hey, why don't we? What do you say we power it up real quick? Yeah, just take a quick look see at the screen here. So give me a second. I just need to let me go ahead and go back over to OBS. There we go. Let me go ahead and open up the power switch here, the power supply. And that's just a standard NUX power supply. I've got one sitting right back there. All right, just give me a quick second and I'll plug it in so we can turn it on. Well, that looks remarkably different, doesn't it? All right. Okay. That looks cool. Let's zoom in. Let's see if I can get that to behave itself. There we are. Okay. Recto Beast. Oh boy, I'm not going to even touch that. Okay, so yeah. Oh boy, I could tell some really bad jokes on all that stuff. Okay, so little disclaimer before I do this. Okay, guys. So again, I'm not going to plug it in and play it because I haven't updated it yet. Need to do that first. So you're looking at it before anybody else. I know there's a couple of little videos out there, but I haven't seen anybody really go into depth on it yet. So we will not be going into depth on it quite just yet. But I just want to take a look and see what we got here. So let's take a look. Here's the master. Okay, that doesn't really do anything yet because I haven't done anything with it. But the main encoder here enables me to scroll up and down the different presets. Okay, as you can see though, the signal block changes to signify what I'm doing as I'm going through it. We can also use the foot switches to get the same exact job done. So I'm assuming this enables me to turn off and on the various effects blocks. There we go, IR, reverb. There's the BPM over there on the right. Let's see, we haven't done anything here yet. Okay, there we go. So press and hold to go into the global settings. And here we go. All right, so okay, so that's kind of interesting because see, I'm seeing it from, I'm looking at it from an angle, so I can't see the colors of the screen unless I'm right on top of it. So I'm actually looking on the screen on the computer here, and I can see that the colors are quite nice here. Game, I have no idea what the hell that's all about. Okay, so let's see, info, output mode. Okay, so this is kind of like the same idea as the MG-300, how it's got an output mode, so you can do studio direct, combo front, stack front, combo rear, stack rear. That's good. That's really useful. Let's see how these feel. We'll do some changes here to the different encoders. Yeah, that feels really nice, actually. It's really smooth. Well done, guys. Well done. All right, let's take a look at the pre-EQ. So I'm assuming that this is before it goes into, let me bring this over here. So I'm assuming that goes before it goes into the signal chain, that there's an EQ you can set up right there, pre-signal. The expression pedal setup. Let's see. Press control to calibrate. Okay, so push it, put it down, then hit control, go to the maximum, hit control, step hardly on the pedal. Okay, you can see that little meter there. There we go. Data saving, boom. So now that's all set up. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. Let's go back in there. USB routing. Let's see what's going on here. Routing mode, dry out, reamp, normal, dry out. Yeah, okay, so it's got reamp, normal, and dry out. That's pretty hot. Let's go back here to display. Oh, that's good. Okay, so you can actually change the brightness. So that should actually look a little better to you guys on the screen there. Let me know what you think. Okay. Full phrase from the NUX MG-30's page, USB audio interface, quick tone editor, firmware update, and MIDI. Okay, great. So it's got, I guess it's got MIDI of some sort. We'll have to figure out what that all means. But nevertheless, just pressing on the encoder will enable editing. I don't know yet, Raider. I haven't really done anything with it yet, so we'll take a look. Let's take a look though. Let's get out. Yeah, there you go. So let's go ahead and switch in there. So I pressed on the encoder, and I can press on the global to exit and go back out. There you go. Okay, I can go through the amps. Let's see. How do we navigate that though? Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool. So this is actually like a joystick. I gotcha. Okay, so let's do that again. Okay, so for those of you at home that just missed that part, so press and hold. So press to get into edit mode, and then this is why it was toggling. I was wondering why this little knob was this encoder knob was toggling a little bit back and forth, because it's actually like a joystick. So you can tap to the right, tap to the left, and you can go through the entire signal chain. That is pretty cool. I gotta tell you, that is very awesome, man. Wow, look at all this stuff. Ooh, there's like an effects block for send and return. That's hot. Okay, that's really cool. I like that. Okay, 10 band EQ. Here are all the different cabinets for the IRs. Let's see. Oh, look at that. You got some acoustic IRs. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. Oh, third party. Okay, well, that'll come for another time. But look at all that. That is so cool. Okay, and there goes the microphones. Great. So we'll have to look at that a little bit more. Okay, so there's the drives. These are all the ones that are in the these are all the ones that are found in the MG-300. So there's not really a whole lot of difference here. Tube screamer, morning drive. That's the clone or clon. Rat distortion, dirt, crunch, muff, cantana. Okay, well that's a new one. That's a boost. Look forward to checking out what that's all about. Okay, noise gate, compression. Oh, this is even better. So now we got it more compressors than we had before. That's really nice. Let's see what's going on here. I wonder if it does IR, if it does guitar IR tech like the Optima Air. Possibly. I mean, it does have acoustic IRs built in. I don't know about you recording your own, which is what the Optima Air can do by itself. Yeah, I was actually with, oh, look at this too, the wah. There's like several different wahs here to choose from. So that's fantastic. So you got a Clyde, Crybaby, the 847, Bad Horsey. You've got your Octave, which is nice too. All that's here. Nice. Okay, that's really cool. I like that. Okay, let's take a look more at the other parameters here. Parameter follow. Okay, I have no idea what that is yet, so I want to read about that before I talk about that. Factory defaults, probably like a factory reset of some sort. Yep, as I imagined. Game. Oh, good Lord. It actually has a game built into it. Oh, that's just silly. Okay, well, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. But let's take a look there. Okay. So anyway, that is the MG-30. Let's see. That's the MG-30. So I think that's about all I can do with it right now without really opening it up and having a look at it. But I think it'll be a really big hit. I was up at NuX's offices yesterday, and I told them straight up, I said, this is going to be one you're going to have a really hard time following, keeping up with, because everybody and their mother's going to want one of these things. And I think it's going to be one of the hottest products of 2021 for sure. So I will be absolutely doing a whole host of videos on this. So you can I'm pretty sure, I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that the let's see, the QuickTone editor, anything I've created on the QuickTone editor with the MG-300 should be translatable onto the MG-30. At least that's my hope. I'm not sure, but it looks like the effects blocks are pretty much about the same here. So it should work, it should translate. But I do want to look into that MIDI thing because I am a MIDI junkie after all. We'll be circling back to that soon. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now because I have things to do, and I think you guys have things to do too, rather than listen to me ramble on forever and a day here. But I hope you found this helpful. If you're watching this on Facebook, please consider subscribing to our Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Help support independent dealers like me. Raider, I'm looking at you. Come on back next week and we'll hit another topic probably on the Trio. I'll take another one of the questions that people have been asking, like, you know, how to hook it up with like something like a Helix or something like that. And maybe what we'll do is by then I'll be able to take you guys through a couple of things that the MG-30 can do to give you kind of an example of what's possible. Okay. So if you got any further questions, just use the comments section and I will get back to you when I can.